Roman Reigns turned his back on Paul Heyman this week on SmackDown after more than a year of loyal service. Not only was Heyman fired for trying to protect Roman Reigns from Brock Lesnar, but he was also physically attacked by the tribal chief. After delivering a Superman punch, Reigns was prepared to deliver a concerto to his special counsel before Brock Lesnar made the save. It is clear that Roman Reigns has some insecurities, and he wasn't able to get past the fact that Heyman had a history with Brock Lesnar. It could be argued that Roman Reigns no longer needs Paul Heyman, and here are just a few reasons why. Number 5. Roman Reigns has outgrown Paul Heyman. When Paul Heyman first began working as the special counsel for Roman Reigns, he was new to being a heel. The tribal chief was just a phrase and didn't have any kind of power behind it. For almost 2 years, Heyman has been molding Roman Reigns into a better character, and his promos have reached the point where they are some of the best in the company. Sitting under the learning tree of Paul Heyman has allowed Reigns to become the biggest star in WWE, but it's now time for him to stand on his own 2 feet. The head of the table has to prove his worth alone at some point. He needs to show that he can overcome obstacles without the help of Heyman and the Usos. That could start with Brock Lesnar at WWE Day 1. The Usos could also lose their championships in a few weeks' time, leading to the downfall of the bloodline and leaving Reigns alone at the table. At some point the caterpillar has to become a butterfly, and this could now be the ultimate test for Reigns, whilst Heyman can sit back and marvel at what he has created. Number 4. Roman Reigns wants to face Brock Lesnar at full strength. Roman Reigns has already defeated Brock Lesnar several times in the past, and at some point, the feud needs to come to an end. Brock Lesnar isn't at full strength without Paul Heyman in his corner offering his advice and pushing him to be the beast. Roman Reigns is aware of this, and even though he gives off the impression that he will do anything to retain that title, he also wants to prove that he is the best. Beating Brock Lesnar at less than full strength wouldn't be enough to stop Lesnar coming for another shot at the title. Reigns and Lesnar are seemingly destined to do this forever, and it appears as though they could be facing off again after WWE Day 1 if rumors are to be believed. The Universal Championship has come between these two men many times, and if Reigns wants to prove that he is a better champion than Lesnar, he has to hold the title without Heyman in his corner. Number 3. Roman Reigns no longer trusts Paul Heyman. It was clear last night on SmackDown that Roman Reigns didn't need to fire Paul Heyman as he was apologetic for what he had done. Heyman will always be loyal to Brock Lesnar, and it's reached the point where this loyalty is coming between him and his relationship with Reigns. Roman Reigns also knows that whilst Heyman is in his corner, he will never be able to stop Lesnar from coming for him. The only way for him to get the beast off his back and ensure that none of his tactics are being leaked is to part ways with Heyman. Reigns needed to fire Heyman before Day 1 on January 1st because it was becoming clear that he wouldn't have been able to trust him to be impartial. As part of their match at Crown Jewel, there were teases that Heyman wasn't completely on Reigns' side, and he couldn't take that chance. Reigns only needs to be thinking about the match with Lesnar at WWE Day 1, and with Heyman in his corner, he would be on edge the whole time. Number 2. Roman Reigns has insecurities that need to be addressed. Roman Reigns' insecurities are the reason why he turned his back on Paul Heyman. It's clear that Roman Reigns was never going to be able to get past the fact that Heyman was once in the corner of Brock Lesnar, despite knowing this when he first began his partnership with him. Reigns has a whole host of issues, one of the main ones being that he likes to blame everyone else for his problems. When Brock Lesnar turned up at SummerSlam, it was Heyman's fault. When he lost a match, or is slightly distressed in any way, he has to blame the Usos or Paul Heyman. This could be the beginning of a much bigger story, but it's clear that this is an ongoing issue and Heyman may be the first part of this puzzle. This could be why the Usos finally turn on Reigns and the bloodline implodes, but it could well be a lengthy story heading into 2022. Number 1. Brock Lesnar needs Paul Heyman more than Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns have had a mutually beneficial relationship for several years. Heyman has helped Reigns become the biggest star in WWE, and Reigns has given Heyman a seat at the table and picked him back up after Lesnar left the company. That being said, Roman Reigns doesn't need Heyman anymore. He's the biggest star in the company, has the championship, and can now deliver on the mic like no one else in the company. Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, needs Heyman at his side to be at full strength. Without Heyman, he has become a likable character, but not a contender for the title. It was clear last week when Heyman forced him to awaken the beast that it's Heyman who holds the keys to Lesnar. Not knowing it, handing Heyman back over to Brock Lesnar could have been Reigns' biggest mistake, because Lesnar will now become the beast incarnate that Reigns has struggled to surpass several times in his career.